Welcome to Desert Giant Gaming. This is Jake here with a little review. I'm going to be reviewing the PlayStation Vue streaming service as well as the PDP PlayStation Remote. First, I'm going to do the remote at the end. First of all, I'll start with the PlayStation Vue service. I've been using it since probably May of last year. I've been specifically using the Core subscription. There's 4 different levels. There's Access, Core, which is Core is essentially the Access level, but with some sports. Access is $40 up to the premium. I think it's the premium one, or Ultra, which is $74.99. And the Elite is right before that. The difference between the Elite and the Ultra is the Ultra has HBO and movies package built into it. Overall, with the Core, I pretty much get most of the channels I want. The only ones I'm really missing that I feel like I would love to have from other services like Economy Central. It's probably the one I watch the most. Otherwise, I feel like I get everything I need. I also pay right now $10 for. Well, I need to probably remove it, but they also offered NFL Red Zone, which was an extra $10 plus a bunch of other channels as well. I need to look at that again and see how many of those other sports channels I should be using. But overall, I think it was a pretty good service. I could actually watch Red Zone on my phone, which is really cool. Made it really easy to, like, if I was away watching the games and whatnot, if I was out for breakfast or whatnot, I could still watch a little bit as I was going. Overall, the app, I'm just going to cover the app a little bit real quick. I remember when I first started, I actually got my parents on a trial last winter, probably about a year ago today, and didn't have a guide, which was really weird. So the only way we can navigate the different channels was by searching for them, more or less. So now they actually added the guide, which I'll show you real quick. It really does actually a decent job of covering information. I kind of wish, I'm not sure if it has actually it does have a landscape. Gives you a little better view of everything. Has a little red bar that shows you the current channels. And overall, it's pretty easy to use. You can favorite channels, favorite things fairly easily. I'm not going to go too crazy with that, but overall, the basic service of PlayStation Vue has a built-in DVR, so it constantly has local, much on-demand. It always has on-demand channels, but it also will record certain shows recently, especially ones that you favorite. So if there's your favorite shows you watch, like I have Star Wars Rebels on DVR. I have been DVRing X-Men, the Gifted, and a few other shows like that. And I have those local ones. The DVR for the recent channels, for the recent episodes. So it works pretty well. Otherwise, if they're not on demand, certain ones get commercial free. Even I think the Gifted on demand is commercial free. So it's actually kind of nice. You get it's an overall good service when it comes to that. I haven't had any issues with that. I haven't really had any lost episodes that I missed. I think it's a good service for what it is. I haven't used any of the other ones like YouTube TV or Sling or anything like that. So I'm actually gonna probably try to put a link below. There's a comparison link I looked at because my brother's looking to figure out what he's gonna go for. I think he actually might go DirecTV, but that's his own choice for what he uses it for. It's not bad. Overall, the software is pretty good on the PlayStation. I use the PlayStation 4. You can use Chromecast with the app. You can use Fire Stick or Fire TV, which I had my parents try using, which wasn't bad with that little remote that it comes with. On those different devices, it seems to work pretty well in its own respect. I find the remote is actually way better to use than the PlayStation 4 controller, just because it just feels more natural. It's easier. The battery life on this is pretty good. So for some AAA batteries, you should get a few months out of it. So it's not bad, but we'll get back to that. But yeah, on the software side, some of the navigation I miss on this that you get that is on the PlayStation 4 controller. Like the touch bar, if you touch that, it gives you a quick option menu, and that will actually give you an option to go back to the last channel. That's something that's missing from every other option I've seen. There's no quick button to go to the last channel. It's only from that I've seen it. I believe on the remote, I got it to work once, and I don't know how I got it. I've tried every button I can't find the button for it. So there's triangle or circle actually will give you the options for search, explore, guide, settings, and your account information. The search option, it pretty much is, if you ever use the store now in PlayStation 4, it's actually really annoying. It's not your typical text, like full QWERTY keyboard style thing, or even the ABCs. It's literally a vertical column, and you put your each time you choose a letter, it starts eliminate or letter. It starts eliminating options as you select words. So if you put, like, for example, th, it'll remove everything else that may not make words after that. Which is really good when you have a really long word to make you're trying to type in. But when you're trying to make quick words, it's actually really annoying because you have to scroll down to the bottom and top, instead of being able to move around easily like on a keyboard. It's good in theory, not great in practice, and it's a big complaint for a lot of people on the PlayStation software in general before PlayStation Vue, and that's something I really don't like. But it does have some autocomplete stuff, so it will try to find what you're looking for to the top. That works pretty well overall, though, and I like on that side. The Explore feature is more of a category search, so you get like category, genre, sorting by like newest to oldest, A to Z. I find it actually really good for finding movies. If I'm looking for different movies of certain genres, it works pretty well for that. That's one thing that you do like with this service is it'll find movies from all over the place and find them. I actually DVR'd all the Star Wars movies, so it's a little tedious to obviously go through the commercials and whatnot, but it's still there. And I did a marathon of them. I saw them, DVR'd all of them, and I have episode 1 through 6 saved. I'm not sure if they had 7 on there, but I at least had 1 through 6. I know. So that's a cool feature, being able to find those movies, like looking around, like, oh, they're on. I'm not gonna watch them right now, but I'm gonna save those for later. So it's kind of a cool little thing. I've done it with a few other movies in the past as well. So I find that feature actually works really well. I know my wife uses it all the time to find certain shows that she's looking for. Then the guide, which I showed you before, is pretty much the same. The app, the one that's on the app looks exactly like it does on the PlayStation 4, just bigger screen, more screen real estate. Works again pretty well. It's a little slow navigating back and forth to get from one into the other. There's obviously no channel select, so I can't go like, oh, I want to go to channel 2 or 7 or 22. You kind of have to scroll through them. It's a bit tedious. You get your core 12 channels all the way to the left side, and then everything else after that is alphabetical. So it's a little different than obviously channel numbers. So it's a way of sorting them, which is kind of interesting. So you get your core 12, and then after that's that. So that works overall pretty well. I mean, settings is typical, and then account info it's pretty much where you go and set your subscriptions and stuff like that. There's a few other buttons that do certain things, like I know R1 is to favorite that channel you're currently on. L1 is to get to your favorite channels, and then if you just hit up or triangle, if you can go up to those options, or you can go down. There's also your favorite, your current show on, your favorites, other shows on that channel, sports, and it'll give you a bunch of like different options you can kind of cycle through, and I think it works pretty well. There's also a multi-screen mode, which I use a lot when I was watching football. I put on Red Zone and then have another game on the side. I have a pretty small TV, actually, unfortunately, a 32-inch TV that I need to upgrade hopefully once we get a new place. We will get a new TV for the living room, then we'll move that to the bedroom, because right now all of it is this monitor. But I think it'd be really good on a bigger screen TV. It doesn't quite do like a picture-in-picture where it's inside of it. It's actually its own screen, and but it's kind of nice because you can easily swap back and forth. And even if you're like wanting to hear the audio on the other one, if you just go select it, you don't need to make it the full screen. It'll still make the audio. So it actually is a pretty cool feature, and I used it a decent amount while watching sports. So if you're a sports watcher, it's a plus there. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of that. Like I said, I really like the touch bar feature to go back to the most recent channel, but that's a little gripe. That's when I get to this. Overall, this does everything you want it to. It has all those buttons, R1, R2, R3, R1. It doesn't have all the R3s, obviously, but as you're sharing your options, there's no button for the touch bar, which again, it goes back to that quick option where I can't find. I got to work once on this. I don't know how. But I cannot find for the life of me what button is equivalent to the touch bar, or the touch pad, whatever you want to call it. And I missed that feature for PlayStation Vue. Granted, it's kind of a niche for that, but yeah, I like that feature. I wish I had that feature, but it does have your play, fast forward, rewind, back forward, skip, and then your pause. I'm not sure really much the point of the pause button, because you hit play again, it usually does the same function. I guess it's fine to have there. The only thing I guess I complain is I have pretty big hands. I have pretty thin fingers, but I have pretty big hands overall. And I feel like I hit the triangle and circle buttons often while trying to hit the arrows. The arrow space isn't very large. So that's my one little complaint there that I can think of. Also, the battery kind of just slides off the back. You got two two AAA batteries. Again, battery life's not bad. It actually does on the PS4 at least. Oh, obviously PS4. It actually is an indicator like you would for your controllers or headset or whatnot. So it actually is pretty good about that, and I like that feature. When you're on low battery, it still gets a lot of juice. Like even if it's blinking, I've gotten like a week out of the juice out of it. So no complaints there. Have used it for Netflix and Amazon Video, and it works just as well with all of those. I haven't really put any shortcuts for it or what the shortcuts are, but it does. I mean, in general, it does have it does work well for that as well. All the play buttons and everything on the bottom, I guess, are mapped to the right things, and it works well enough. Really good piece of hardware, easy and small in the hand. I used to have the old PlayStation 3 Universal one. I think it was massive, had a number pad on it. It was just so excessive. You really barely ever used the number pad. It was just overkill and was cumbersome to use. And this is so much cleaner, streamlined experience. Really like this. Again, like the PlayStation Vue service. If you like Sling, if you want Comedy Essentials, I know Comedy Essentials on Sling, or Apple TV, if they even have, no, they even have that service yet. But DirecTV again is getting one. YouTube TV. If you like those services, it's awesome. Let me know in the comments below why you like those. If you use PlayStation Vue, let me know as well. Let me know again if you have this remote. I'd love to hear some feedback on what you guys think of the hardware as well. Maybe things I don't know about them. I'd love to learn about that. You guys were great with the Steam controller review. Let me know about certain little things that I may not have known, and I've tried them, and I really have been enjoying your guys' feedback. So keep it coming. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe below. See you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.